Today is Sunday, May 31st, 2020, and you're listening to What Just Happened. Broadcasting daily at 2 p.m., What Just Happened is Project Wasabi's 10-minute recap of significant events from around the world. Starting with our daily coronavirus vigil. According to Johns Hopkins University, as of this morning, May 31st, 2020, just in the United States alone, we have lost a total of 103,781 Americans, nearly 1,000 of whom, 945 deaths, just in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, across the nation, in the wake of George Floyd's unnecessary death, the increasing protests and demonstrations are peaceful, until they are not. Due to nationwide threat of looting, Target has closed 175 of its stores. Here in Metro LA, the list of closed businesses includes the downtown LA Target at Figueroa and 7th Street, as well as the Hawthorne store on 120th Street. And at least here in Southern California, all other Target stores are open for business regular hours. All this in response to the past 3 days of civil unrest, a great deal of which occurred yesterday. One incident in the Fairfax district of Los Angeles, in which a peaceful march moving slowly west along 3rd Street suddenly devolves into violence, as demonstrators begin challenging police officers, screaming, shoving and pushing, throwing rocks and glass bottles, climbing on top of buildings, jumping up and down on top of vehicles. And by the time this one incident's over, at least 9 black and white police SUVs are severely damaged. Their tires flattened, windows broken out, sheet metal bent, mangled and twisted beyond function. In response, authorities fire rubber bullets and form a police line about 30 feet west of the intersection, blocking the angry mob's path at Fairfax and stopping them from going any farther west. Angry rioters face off toe-to-toe with officers on the police line, and while some scuffling breaks out, most violence is contained. An unusual turn at one point as a red sports car drives dangerously straight into the crowd, dividing the group in two. No one is hurt, and about 2 blocks further, the driver then voluntarily pulls over, exits the red car, and is quickly apprehended by police. Then, half a dozen 20-something men climb atop a city metro bus, jumping up and down on its roof, rocking it left to right, thereby blocking it from completing its route. A few moments later, the bus driver exits unscathed, where, inexplicably, he's given a hero's welcome by cheering protesters. At this time, still during daylight hours, miraculously, in this one incident, approximately 5 p.m. during daylight hours at Fairfax and 3rd, there is no looting, and most stores and local businesses go mostly untouched. But at least one police unit, a black and white Ford Explorer, is completely torched, so thoroughly incinerated, its markings unrecognizable, its color scheme now a completely charred gray. Ironically, the vehicle fire is a powerful irritant, and the billowing plume of ugly smoke is so thick, it ends up temporarily dispersing the very crowd that started it. Representative John Lewis calls for peaceful demonstration. Quote, "I know your pain, your age, your sense of despair and hopelessness. Justice has indeed been denied for too long." Unquote. As an alternative to violence, Representative Lewis says organize, demonstrate, sit in, stand up and vote. Be constructive, not destructive. History has proven time and again, non-violent, peaceful protest is the way to achieve the justice and equality that we all deserve. But later that evening, sometime between 6 and 7 p.m., at the same farmers market area of Fairfax and 3rd Street, multiple stores are looted, including Whole Foods Market, Nordstrom, Nike, Ray-Ban, and Apple. Also between 6 and 7 p.m., 4 more police squad cars are set alight. Just after 7 p.m., LA Fire responds to a structure fire in an abandoned building but next door to a nail salon on the north side of Melrose, about 3 blocks east of Fairfax. 7:06 p.m. Los Angeles declares a citywide curfew from 8 p.m. till 5:30 a.m. this morning, and Mayor Eric Garcetti requests a contingent of 1,000 National Guard troops to help restore order. And of course, Los Angeles is by no means alone. Violent rioting and looting break out in Grand Rapids, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, San Francisco, and other communities as well, both large and small. Many of those arrested for arson are not from the city in which they are arrested. So where are these more criminal elements coming from? This podcaster personally believes the most destructive rioting is coordinated by covert agents of hostile foreign governments, possibly the Russian Federation. And while the evidence is circumstantial, e.g. Russia's continued attempts to undermine our government, most successful prosecutions are based on circumstantial evidence. On a happier note, yesterday afternoon, about 50 miles east of Orlando, Florida, at NASA's Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A, the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying the crew Dragon enjoyed her successful liftoff at precisely 3:22 p.m. Eastern Time.
2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has launched.
Lots of double-digit birthdays today. Legendary football player Joe Namath turns 77. Model-turned-actress Brooke Shields turns 55. And Irish-born actor Colin Farrell turns 44. And on that note, Project Wasabi's What Just Happened says, Happy birthday, folks. LA weather today. No rain, but the morning clouds will linger past lunch, then a partly sunny afternoon with temperatures in the high 70s today. Tomorrow, those same morning clouds will officially be June gloom, kicking off the work week with temperatures slightly warmer in the low 80s Monday and Tuesday. The heat gradually increases through the week with temperatures in the high 80s by Thursday. This concludes today's Daily Report. On behalf of Project Wasabi, this is Brian Newberry saying thanks for listening, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.